The people united. The people united. Free, 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 free. Stop their killing, stop their crime. Israel out to Palestine. Stop their killing, stop their crime. 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 Everyone come closer, yeah? Everyone come closer. Fill up the gaps, fill up the gaps, fill up the gaps. Let's keep it as a nice, snug crowd. Free, 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 free. رغد التكريت يا ابوك.
Brothers, sisters, friends, assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all. We stand at a critical moment in the ongoing struggle for Palestinian liberation. Right now, the world is watching a ceasefire in Gaza, one that should be, by all accounts, provide an opportunity for relief. But Israel has repeatedly broken the ceasefire, continuing its violence against Palestinian civilians. Despite international promises of peace, the Israeli state has shown time and time again that it has no intention of honoring its commitments. Ceasefire or not, Palestinians continue to face the barrel of the gun, the wreckage of bombed homes, and the loss of life. This is not peace. It is a temporary break in an ongoing war of attrition. And as if to mock the lives lost, the blood spilled, and the hopes of a people struggling to survive, the United States under President Donald Trump has chosen this very moment to welcome Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House. Shame. Netanyahu, who presided over massacres in Gaza, who has expanded settlements in the West Bank, and who has embraced policies of ethnic cleansing. Trump, with his inflammatory rhetoric and unwavering support for Israeli apartheid, has invited Netanyahu as his first guest, sending a clear message to the world. The US is not a mediator for peace. It is complicit in the destruction of Palestine. Trump's suggestion that Palestinians in Gaza should be relocated to Jordan and Egypt is nothing short of a call for ethnic cleansing, a blatant endorsement of the forced displacement of an entire people from their homeland. This is not just reckless. This is not just reckless rhetoric. It is the language of settler colonialism, echoing the darkest chapters of history, where indigenous populations were expelled to make way for occupation. Gaza's people are not unwanted guests. They are the rightful inhabitants of their land. And no amount of US-backed Israeli aggression can erase that fact. Trump's words embolden war crimes, fuel Zionist expansionism, and trample on international law, making clear yet that his allegiance is to apartheid and oppression, not justice or humanity. The world must reject this genocidal logic and stand firm against any attempts to erase the Palestinian people, and stand firm against every attempt to erase the Palestinian people from their own land. The true meaning of ethnic cleansing is not a hypothetical future event. It is happening right now in real time. It is the bulldozing of Palestinian homes. It is the military raids in Jenin, where Israeli soldiers enter Palestinian towns and murder civilians with impunity, where families are torn apart, and where every attempt to resist is met with bloodshed. This is not self-defense. This is not a counter-terrorism operation. This is the active extermination of Palestinians' existence. This is genocide, not security. We cannot afford to be passive. We cannot afford to be passive observers. The situation in Gaza, the escalation in Jenin, and the ongoing ethnic cleansing of Palestine demand action. Let us be clear. We cannot sit back and pretend that what we are witnessing is an isolated conflict or an unfortunate series of misunderstandings. This is an act of imperialism. This is an act of settler colonialism. This is an act of ethnic cleansing. And we must say it, shout it, and act on it. The Palestinian people have a right to live in their homeland. They have a right to self-determination. They have a right to live free from occupation, free from violence, free from the boot of the Israeli military on their necks. The idea that we can simply talk about peace without addressing the roots of violence, without confronting the settler colonial nature of the Israeli state, is an insult to the very notion of justice. We will not stop until we see a free, liberated Palestine. A Palestine where its people live in dignity without fear. We will not rest. We will never stop until Palestine is free from the river to the sea. Palestine is free from the river to the sea. Thank you.
From the river to the sea, from the sea to the river, from the river to the sea, from the sea to the river. Now, we can all agree that the real terrorists in this whole situation are the Zionists. So when I say Zionism, you say terrorism. Zionism! 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 Now we're going to go to all the shut it downs, yeah? Zionism! Shut it down. Zionism! Occupation! Siege on Gaza! The West Bank rule! Colonialism! White supremacy! Ethnic cleansing! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Now, like I said, we got a ceasefire, right? Like I said, we got a ceasefire. Yeah, and usually when I ask you, what do we want? You guys say we want a ceasefire, which I never really liked anyway, because I never get calling for a ceasefire. We want justice. We've always wanted justice. We've been suffering for years, generations. We've always wanted justice for the suffering that we have suffered as a people. So when I say, what do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? No justice! 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 Israel out of the Middle East. All right. Next, we have Samir Jaber from Jerusalem, a researcher and represent what? Researcher and representing what? Represent the Palestinian civil society in occupied Palestine. Sorry about that.
Brothers, sisters, comrades, we are here tonight protesting not only the ethnic cleansing that has been taking place over the last 75 years. We are here also to put our demands on the British government and in front of the world. Our demands that Palestine should be and must be free. As a Palestinian who descends from a family that was uprooted from West Jerusalem, I'm sharing with you my own story. In 1948, my family was uprooted from a place still exists in West Jerusalem, next to the police station there. When I pass by my family house, I know that I have roots there, and I will return one day to that place. And it's not only the story. They are calling us refugees. We are not refugees. We are survivals that will return and must return. And it's not only the story of the Palestinians. They start with somebody. In the 30s, 1930s, they started with Jews. They killed them. Now, in the 21st century, they are focusing on the Palestinians. So Palestinians, they call them refugees. They depict us as terrorists. And Mr. Trump says that he wanted to relocate us. So instead of saying uprooting Palestinians, he just make it reallocation. And after reallocation, he would make us similar to what he used even in the United States, aliens, unaccepted people, people who are not smart enough to exist. So imperialism starts with segregating some people and unhumanizing them, similar to what Israel do. Israel is not far away from United States. Same shared history of settler colonialism. Settler colonialists have the same mentality. And in order to change this mentality, we have to change the discourse. We are freedom fighters and we fight by our own existence. So our own existence in Palestine is a form of resistance. And we ask everyone to support our existence in Palestine. That's why we ask the British government to recognize the newly formed committee that will run the Gaza Strip. This is one of the most important things that provide help for the Palestinians. Without doing this, Palestinians cannot exist on their land decently to legitimize the banking system so people can transfer money easily. This is what we need. London is the second world financial center, and they can facilitate this. We need to facilitate the work of UNRWA. UNRWA is the United Nations Relief and Work Agency that facilitates the life of 85% of the Palestinian population in Gaza, 60% of the Palestinian population in the West Bank, and some percent, I'm not sure how much, in East Jerusalem. Supporting Norway is one crucial thing. And finally, we ask the people here to support the Palestinian by all means they can. Firstly, by using the narrative that Palestinians are native people and Israelis are colonial settlers. And thank you. Free, 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 free. From the river to the sea, from the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea, from the sea to the river, from the sea to the river, from the sea to the river. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Oh, West Bank, don't you cry. Oh, West Bank, don't you cry. Oh, West Bank, don't you cry. So next, inshallah, we have Janine. She is the organizer of PYM, the Palestinian Youth Movement. Thank you.
Free, 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 from the river to the sea, from the sea to the river. It has been 2 weeks since we all sighed a collective moment of relief for our people in Gaza. In the face of the most atrocious crimes we have seen in modern history, the people of Gaza guided us all towards the righteous path of struggle and steadfastness. Over the last 2 weeks, we have seen unbelievable footage of Palestinian prisoners being released. Prisoners who guide us on the path to liberation despite the torture, medical negligence, and months in solitary confinement that they endure. Over the last week, we have seen the people of Gaza and the people of South Lebanon return to their homes, steadfast and undefeated. They show us all what our return home will look like and reminds us that our liberation is within reach. Over the last 15 months, almost 200,000 Palestinians have been martyred by the Zionist regime, paying the ultimate sacrifice for our collective liberation. The blood of our martyrs flows through the soil of Palestine. Their spirit nourishes our determination and resolve to continue driving our struggle forward. It is in response to our people's steadfastness and unwilling to bend or break that the Zionist army is now doubling down in the West Bank. Shame! It is out of immense embarrassment at their colossal military failures that the Zionist army is now scrambling for a win. But they will never win because this is the beginning of the end of Zionism! Just as our people expelled the Zionist enemy from Lebanon in 1982, and again in 2000, and again in 2006, our people have expelled them yet again. And just as our people in Gaza expelled Zionist settlers from the Strip in 2005, our people have expelled them once again. And just as our people expelled the occupiers from a Jenin refugee camp in the Second Intifada, our people in the West Bank will emerge victorious again. As Trump signs executive order after executive order, threatening our movement and attempting to liquidate our struggle, the people of Gaza, the people of Lebanon, the people of Yemen remind us that it is us, the masses, that are the makers of history. Neither Keir Starmer in Downing Street nor Donald Trump in the White House can stop the trajectory of our noble struggle towards victory, towards liberation, and towards return free, free! Free, free! Thank you.
Free, free. Free, free. Free, free. Brick by brick. Israeli apartheid. Brick by brick. Israeli apartheid. Brick by brick. Israeli apartheid. Viva, viva. Viva, viva. Viva, viva. Viva, viva. Viva, viva. Up next, we have Ibrahim Khadra, Palestinian journalist from Gaza. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for coming, everyone. Under this condition, really, thank you so much for coming. I stand before you today as a Palestinian from Gaza, from Gaza, a son of a land that has carried our ancestors' dreams for generations. Today, we are asked to abandon the land, to walk away from our history, to surrender the soil that holds the bones of our grandparents. Donald Trump speaks of forcing us out as if we are mere number on a map, as if the story of our people can be erased with a signature. But we are not a people that vanish. We are not a story that can be rewritten by those who see our existence as a problem to solve. No one asked the German to leave Germany after the World War, the Frenchman to leave France. No one tells the Americans to pack their bags and disappear. Then why should the Palestinian be the only one whose homeland is treated as a temporary? Why should we go generation after generation be asked to give up our right to exist where we belong? To those who speak of moving us like a pieces of a pieces on a chessboard, let me be clear. Palestine is not a suitcase we carry. It's not a place we visit. Palestine, it's who we are. And no political deal, no foreign leader, no force on this earth can change that. Free, 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 free. But let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. This is not just a distant threat. The reality on the ground is making displacement an inevitability if we remain silent. The siege, the starvation, the destruction of homes, hospitals, and schools. This is not just cruelty. It's a strategy to make life in Gaza unbearable, so that living becomes the only option. Even during the so-called ceasefire, the people of Gaza are left without a basic means to survive. No food, clean water is a privilege, medicines are running out. If we do nothing, if we remain passive, history will not remember Trump's words as a mere statement. It will remember them as a prophecy fulfilled by our silence. This is the moment we decide who we are. Do we watch or we act? Do we let them turn Gaza into unlivable wasteland? Or do we help our people stand tall? The choice is ours, and the responsibility is heavy. We must support Gaza by every means possible, politically, economically, and morally. We must demand the lifting of the suffocated blockade. We must push for the immediate entry of food, medical supplies, and materials that will allow the people of Gaza to rebuild. This is not just about survival. It's about reclaiming dignity. It's about reclaiming dignity, about proving that no matter how much they try to erase us, we will raise again. Free, 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 free. So let the world hear us today. We, the Palestinian people, remain, we stand, we resist, and we refuse to uproot it. Our roots are deep, our identity unshakable, and our land, our beloved land, will never be for sale. We are here and we are not leaving. Thank you. Free, 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 from the river to the sea, from the sea to the river, from the river to the sea, from the sea to the river, from the river to the sea, from the sea to the river. Now, Ragad Secretary again for some announcements.
Right, so some announcements just for you to be all with us in solidarity. On Thursday, the 13th of February, we're going to protest in front of Westminster Magistrates Court for Chris Dynam, who was arrested and charged by the police. So it would be good to have you. Do we know the time? 12:30. So 12:30, there's going to be a protest outside the Magistrates Court in Westminster. On the 15th, we've got the National March of the Coalition. We're going to march to the US Embassy. So we'd love to have you with us. And it's very important for all of us to be on this march in response to what happened last Saturday, last March. After that, we've got a cultural meeting in Harrow in support of Palestine. Whoever wants to come walking after the march, after we're done at around 4, it's going to be ongoing in Harrow. Details will be available to whoever asks about it. And it's open up to 8, so you could join us there. So it's a day of solidarity, a month of solidarity, and a year of solidarity, and continuing our solidarity until Palestine is free, inshallah. Free, free! Free, free!
No justice, no justice, no justice. What do we want? Justice! What do we want? I can't hear you. What do we want? One more time. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? No justice, no justice, no justice. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. Say hey. Let's try that again. Say hey. Ho. Israel has got to go. Say hey. Ho. Israel has got to go. Say hey. Ho. Israel has got to go. Say hey. Ho. That was really bad, guys. That was really bad. Say hey! Ho! Israel has got to go! Say hey! Ho! Say hey! Ho! Say hey! Ho! That's bad. That was bad. Free, free! Free, free! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, thank you very much. That is time today. Jazakumullah khair. Get home safe. Make sure that you take everything with you. Leave the banners though. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Netanyahu, you can hide. We got you.